They're not Republican. They're not conservative. They aren't Christian, but they, more than many Christians, see the value of a Christian worldview in maintaining our social order. And I haven't watched this. I guess I'll react to it. I don't know how much we're going to see. Let's not play it. Harry Enton now nails how Turning Point USA's Charlie Kirk almost single-handedly secured Trump's 2024 victory by swinging 18 to 25-year-old males 23 points to the right from 2020 to 2024. Trump had the best performance for any Republican nominee for president this entire century among voters under the age of 25. Trump became the first Republican nominee for president to win males under the age of 25 this entire century. Well, in my opinion, Turning Point did have some influence there, but let's understand that for a long time now, these people have been the butt of society's joke. They have no future. The jobs have been stolen from them and given to illegals. The dating market's been screwed up. Their women have been turned into feminists. They've been attacked. They're not allowed to say insensitive things, even though what young men do is joke around and be insensitive to each other. Remember, we're talking about these people who formed the initial core. Most of these people are young, and they formed the initial core of Trump's movement 10 years ago. They created this, the biggest Trump forum on the internet. And now you have Harry Enton saying, well, no, it was Turning Point USA that turned young men to Trump in 2020 to 2024. I don't think that holds water. I don't think that's why it is. I think it's blowback and anger. If it was Turning Point that turned these people, and obviously it turned some, but if it was the ones that turned the majority of these people to the right, then 3/4 of them wouldn't want to nationalize major industries. 57% of them wouldn't support excess wealth confiscation. That's the people on the right that are voting Trump under the age of 30. They are basically socialists and communists, not economic free market capitalists. They're late stage capitalists. They're just angry at the system and they're lashing out. And here's a guy that I would look at if you want to learn a little bit more about the mindset of young people. I don't know how old Asmongold is, maybe 30, but he's got a lot of young viewers. And there's two videos in particular that I'm not going to play that are worth a watch probably. This one is hilarious. What the F are women reading? But he's Asmongold TV. This isn't, he streams on Twitch, but this is just like his recycled content on YouTube. But he's got 4 million subscribers on YouTube, millions more on Twitch. This got 1.1 million views. This is a video floating around where they go into Morning Glory Milking Farm, which is basically smut novels that women are reading. But the reason this stuck out to me is that Asmongold is not a Republican. He would probably identify as an atheist, I'm guessing. I think he was raised Catholic, but he's not a religious person. He's fiercely independent. All of his content's mostly about video games, but he's increasingly taken political stances, and he has openly supported Trump. And why? Well, it's because why a lot of people like Joe Rogan have. Not because they're ideological people, not because they want to support conservatism or the Republican Party. They're just sick of leftists crap and they're angry. They're angry at the state of America and they want something to be fixed. And that's basically this guy's entire politics. Who is that kind of person? That kind of person is in the green square. They would love to be in the blue square. They want to get to a place where, no, they don't want to be in the blue square. They want to be in a place where there's authority trust. They want to not have to burn the system down. They want a system that works. That's why they want to burn the system down, because it doesn't work at all anymore. So that's the kind of thing. Now, in this particular, again, very, 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 very hilarious conversation, it got to the point where he was so overwhelmed by the disgusting, abhorrent content in women's romance novels, the modern ones that are being spread around on TikTok, that he basically said that we need to turn back to Christianity. Like that's, for a non-religious, independent, non-political person who is angry at the status quo, not a religious guy, he's like, we need religion to fix this. That's how bad it is. It's demonic. That's profound. because I don't see anybody in religious circles talking about the absolute perversion that's running amok. And we've looked at the religious polling. We can bring it back up. That's the problem, is that they're looking around and saying, well, not only is we'll get into the Republican Party, the institutions aren't working, society has failed, I have no recourse, I'm angry, people cancel me and lash back at me when I state my anger. And so what are they going to do? Are they going to repress it, make it go away, change? No, they're right. Society is screwed up. Why should they change? And this is their way, I think, to signal anger and discontentment that society does need to change. I think that's one of the reasons that edgelords exist. It's a pressure relief valve. And quite frankly, I like it better as a pressure relief valve than I do Molotov cocktails on the left. But this one's even more important. This is another Asmongold video, and this is him reacting to a guy called Moist Critical. So this one got 1 million in 2 days. The title is Everyone's Talking About This Video. And this one's really worth a watch. It's not funny, but it's crazy. He's responding to this guy, Moist Critical, who has 17 million subscribers. Also, I think a gaming streamer. On his channel, his video got 3 million views. It's probably been reacted to by other people. I'm guessing across all platforms, it's probably been seen by 10 million people now. And what this video lashes out on is the sheer idiocy of the brainwashing that people on the right have adopted. Now, he's a leftist, not Asmongold, but Moist Critical, is my understanding, is that he leans left, but he's relatively apolitical. And he has a point, but he's also wrong about some things. He uses as examples of brainwashing on the left. Well, look at Epstein. They've been talking about Epstein for 10 years, and all of a sudden Trump gets into office and they say, oh, nothing to see here. And his supporters go, oh, okay. Well, that's not really what happened. Everybody was really pissed and they called Trump out. A lot of them, not everyone. There were people on the right who were brainwashed and like, okay, we don't have to talk about Epstein anymore. Same thing about the vaccines. Well, yeah, Donald Trump's supporters were super anti-COVID vaccine for years and years and years. Trump gets into office. He gets a COVID vaccine last week. And everybody's like, oh, like, cool, whatever. The stuff about the crypto money that Donald Trump and his family are earning, the things about the relationships that he's made with Middle Eastern families. And like, these are the things, as an example, that are being used by independents who may have, many of his followers would have, be converted into Trump supporting people who might be able to have the values of Christianity or capitalism, traditional Western values instilled in them, but they aren't, because they aren't seeing action and movement on the things that they care about. And what do they care about? The economy being fixed, people who are criminals being held accountable. And that's the important part of this video. He rails about how Trump is not arresting people and how we need to see more. And this is from a left guy. And he wants Trump to arrest people. That's the problem. This, again, is the burn it down signal. This is people, Asmongold and Moist Critical, on the right and the left, but really they're independents and apolitical people who are looking at their future and saying it's jacked up and nobody's fixing it. How do you reach those people? They're in the green. They're not Republican. They're not conservative. They aren't Christian, but they, more than many Christians, see the value of a Christian worldview in maintaining our social order. They don't want to have to go to church, but they're like, where's the church? Why is it letting millions of women in America, and the men who obviously have their own different kinds of way of being perverted? This is what I'm like really worried about. But the window is moving. And I think, I'm not sure where it's going. You have J.D. Vance literally standing behind these people and saying, no, I'm not going to throw you to the wolves anymore. I think that's a very, very clear signal of the kind of leadership that he's having that hopefully might be able to get to this cohort of individuals. And they're all over the internet. We look at Reddit frequently as an example of the depraved liberal Marxist monoculture that is indoctrinating kids into the LGBTQ community, that's teaching them to be late stage capitalists and want their universal income. The alternative is people in the streamosphere, the YouTube ecosystem, and people, quite frankly, a lot of them are still on TikTok and Instagram who are on the right, but not on the right. You have to really conform what the right is in order to help these people. And you're going to see stuff that is not sensitive, that you're just going to. I mean, that's just a fact of life. It's something that I don't know how the right's going to deal with it, but it's not going away. Twitter is not calming down. It's getting worse. An example with the Israel stuff, Israel is now down to only plus 13 over Palestine, down from 41 points just 2 years ago, literally 2 years ago. In 2 years, they've lost almost 30 points of support among Americans. And they are down to, they lost almost 30 points among Republicans as well. It was like 27, 28 points. Well, why is that? You have people on the right, like Mark Levin. You have people on the right, like coming out, like big names, Dinesh D'Souza, Joel Pollack, most people on Fox News, full-throated, unquestioning, unwavering support of Israel. When a significant number of Republicans would look and say, well, I'm not sure if I could look at what Bibi Netanyahu's doing and say it's not genocide. Pretty big numbers. We looked at that in our Israeli polling in the last video. Wasn't the last video we did, but we did it relatively recently. And so Bibi Netanyahu has an issue, a real big problem with Twitter, where increasingly their PR management, the way they've built their politics, the way they're trying to manage to American public opinion is not going to work anymore, because people are so mad. They are no longer willing to moderate their discussion. And they now have places to do it like Twitter where nobody can run away from.